Like I remember reading in that book on Roy Buchanan that or in an interview, that he knew people in the band. So like when you hear Robbie Robertson taking solos with little pinch harmonics, like that's coming from Roy. I think Roy also told him about swapping out a banjo string on the top E string, and then restringing the guitar down from the E to the B to get lighter strings. And then I also heard that Robbie Robertson told Link Chamberlain, who was in a band, the Orchids, and he ended up being a jazz guitarist to play with Miles Davis in New York. So like this information was being passed around as they would tour and gig. So I always thought that was interesting to read about. It's like, because they'd be backing up singers in the 50s. Everyone would be, and they'd all meet each other. But the what got me excited about their technical stuff, I mean, they're different players. The thing about Roy Buchanan, and if I just start going on and on, interrupt me, please. But the tone is so exciting that they used. That's what I remember when I brought up my aunt bringing Cruz and Deuces over. It was just, I was sitting there with my dad and my mom, and we were listening, and it's just like, wow. The whole time it's like, what is happening? There's so much energy coming out of this this playing and this sound. I mean, it's got that biting Telecaster sound, and it's just the amount of technique it takes to play that stuff it's like, it just seems impossible. So when I think about Roy Buchanan, I think about him as developing that sound or creating that specific sound, and having the feel and emotion to make it actually, and I know people say this all the time, but it's just true. It actually screams, it actually cries. It's like, it's a very emotional, technical blues type of playing. But then he has all of these techniques that he uses that, I don't know where they came from or who to reference, where it's like, he's doing the making things faster. There's like these like tricks to make your nervous system react, almost, in a way. So when I think about him as the person that came up with that stuff. And then Danny Gatton, I think, took that sound and then applied this technique that's just like superhuman, and created this other voice with it. But I mean, it's largely, there's a lot of right hand technique involved in this. So hybrid picking, which would come from like Merle Travis, the Travis Styles, Chet Atkins, Scotty Moore. I mean, Les Paul, I don't know if he gets talked about enough, because his work with the trio early on, I think, is kind of like an extension of Django Reinhardt. And that translating onto the electric guitar, obviously there's like technical stuff, and Danny Gatton calls one of his licks the clarinet type of phrase, but that's a Les Paul thing. It's just like, it's like the mastery of every style up through the 80s to me, as well. I mean, there's jazz, there's George Benson stuff happening.